We have created the world exactly the way it is, and the only way we can change this world is by changing ourselves. We just focus on the problem outside, and it's very difficult not to do that because we see it everywhere. As this world is just filled with so much injustice and so much suffering and inequality and struggle that we all get used to. But as we just see the problem everywhere, we are controlled by it. And keeps us from understanding the greatness that lies within each and every one of us. The powers that through which, and only as we realize those powers within ourselves, can we then develop those powers in order to come together as one. And that is really, it's a personal matter. It's about the evolution versus the revolution. And it's time for the evolution to begin in order to create a better world that starts from within ourselves. It's really about personal relationships, learning to understand people better, learning to know that we are not here to change people, but we can learn from them. We can understand each other. It is really this understanding, I believe, that we need in this world, which can help us to come together. That's the only way for us to come together. Because we all are, we're very different from each other. We all, follow our own perceptions. We all evaluate each other. We all judge each other to be a certain way. But also that keeps us from seeing each other for who we really are, from learning each other, from getting to know each other. And that's the real knowledge from which, we can develop a new sense of power. That is the empowerment versus the power that is controlling this world. The power over people, the power to control people, the power to have, the power to acquire more and more and more. You know, it's all external power that keeps us from realizing the power that lies within. And again, that's real power through which we can make things better. And something to really look at for yourself as we all do that, I myself included, we give power away every time we focus on the problem outside of us. But through this also we are distracted about the real problem, which is the corporations, those who control the corporations, the media, only care about getting richer, the politicians only care about getting voted into office. And it's really this kind of power which has disempowered us. And if we just focus on that all the time, we cannot even realize what we are capable of doing. And it's just like that in our personal affairs. As we see something in our personal lives, a situation we cannot deal with, we want to change it, but we're not really learning why it is happening in the first place and what are we here to learn from it. Or just like with people in our lives who drive us crazy, and we all have those people. We argue then with these people, we get annoyed with them, we try to change them, and but we're not really learning them. That's really where it begins, and that's something I really think is very, very important, and it's very rare, because usually we don't make that effort. We only listen up until a certain point, and when somebody's saying something we don't agree with or we like, we usually cut them off, or we turn our back, we want to have nothing to do with them. It's the end of relationships. But we're not learning. We can learn so much from each other if we really just make the effort to get to know each other. As we get to know somebody else, especially people who are difficult, because it's easy, to get to know somebody, because there we want to make the effort to be with somebody who's nice. We like being around that person. That's so easy. But to really discipline ourselves there and to make the effort to understand somebody who we usually have a difficult time understanding, I think really exactly that's where it's at. That's where we can really learn something that is new, something that we previously didn't know, as we really get to know somebody who's different from the way we are, different from the way we want them to be. And through this, we get to know ourselves. I guess it was once Goethe said something along the lines of, everything recognized outside of myself, which is truly new, opens up a new organ within myself. Of course, I'm paraphrasing here. I'm not even quite sure if it was Goethe who said that, but it's not really that important. it's really important what it means. All are extensions of each other, we all reflections of each other, we all are one, and it is really this oneness, to bring about this oneness, which is possible only if we make peace with how things are, we learn to accept what cannot be changed in order to then develop ourselves in such a fashion as we become more peaceful, more understanding, more loving, more kind, more patient. All of these human qualities which we, well, had as children to some degree or another. Of course, children are not really patient, that's one thing. But children have this innocence and the sense of wonder and the capacity to give love and to receive love. Joy, inner joy, happiness. Children are that way already. We just then forget it as we become externally focused. We become distracted and we get disappointed, we get hurt, we suffer a lot. It's part of life, of course. But then also, I don't believe we're just here to suffer. I really believe we're here to learn something from that in order to develop ourselves in such a degree that we learn to fully embrace ourselves, to fully love ourselves, so we can really fully love one another. And again, real quick here, another reminder, just to wrap that up, is love is not just a matter of having people around, surrounding yourself with people who are lovable to you and who are easy to love because you like them, because you agree with them, because they make you happy. Love extends far beyond that also to people who are difficult, people who are usually annoying to you. You judge them to be a certain way, which in all honesty, we all judge each other to be a certain way. We all evaluate each other to be a certain way. Unless you are a very highly evolved spiritual master. The very few people are that. But that's what I'm trying to draw attention to here with Realize to Actualize. It's something we can develop, we can practice as we learn each other, as we learn that life is a school and that every experience, every situation, every person is here to remind us of what we're here to learn, so we can get to know ourselves better, so we can learn from and with one another, and we can work together in order, I know it sounds like a cliche, but I say it anyway because it's true, to make this world a better place. I mean, in all reality, don't we all want that? Don't you want that? Or do you only, like most people, and I believe it's also part of the problem, it's part of our programming, being part of this marketing-oriented, competitive, production, consumption-oriented society, where everybody is basically looking out for number one, which is themselves. We all look to feed ourselves in terms of relationships, in terms of entertainment, in terms of having a good life, good experiences. But if that's the case, how can we learn what we're here to learn? Well, how can we rather remember what we have forgotten? Something worth thinking about. Appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. Keep it real and many greetings from Germany.